Hello, I am Barendipitous, and I feel like I need to share a few things about what Brawlhalla has been doing recently. They've kind of been at it again, up to their usual shenanigans of teasing us in really weird and interesting ways that seem almost tailor made for me to deal with. So I I'm basically going to go over all of the weird teaser things they've been doing the past few days, and we'll see what they have in store for us in the future. So, first of all, this all kind of started a few days ago with this image right here. This was shared on the Brawlhalla Twitter account as well as their YouTube, like just all over the place, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. At first, they only shared the screenshot of this phone right here. It says "Holla at Me" is the name of the app. We have this weird little three-eyed alien face that says "Who's ready for a new year?" And then Bryn says "Excited to see the team." Yumiko says "Can't wait to see everyone." Koji kind of gives a thumbs down emoji. Loki said "One more to go." And then Mako said, "I got my phone wet and can't read. I got my phone wet and can't read what you said." So we just had the screenshot and that's it. Which, by the way, first of all, "Holla at Me," brilliant name for a like a WhatsApp or kind of like messaging app in Brawlhalla. It seems to be channeling the sort of back to school skins a bit. We have, so you can't quite see very well, but we have cheerleader Bryn there. We have Yumiko. We have the delinquent Koji. Loki, that's just a THNX symbol, and then we have the little kid Mako, swim day Mako or something like that, right? But then this weird alien face we were not familiar with, and then the next day or the couple days after that, we got this image right here, which kind of zooms out a little bit, where we see the phone, and then we see the person is typing "see you there," but we see the little three-eyed alien creature thing right here, right, as the cute little keychain. Then we see somebody's hand of possibly a new, like a different character, and then we see some moon and stars drawn around on a grid. So that was all fine and well. I didn't feel like I had much to say about this because we don't recognize this creature. I don't, I didn't know if it was more of a back to school thing or if they were like trying to tease something brand new along with it. Anyway, that all changed. Not when the Fire Nation attacked, but when Brawlhalla started streaming this. At the time of recording, they are still streaming this, by the way. If you go to the Brawlhalla Twitch channel, you will see this. Some lovely, space music in the background and everything like that, right? The title is literally just like a sky emoji. But yeah, it's just a night sky slowly panning to the left. And that's it. Now, I will say that the developers really love when they make little puzzles and teasers for us to figure out, right? And this is no different. One of the developers, kind of pointed out this stream to me, and especially pointed out the stars. And I noticed there are there's a small portion of stars that have a little, looks like there's a little X that comes out of it. It's like the twinkling that you don't really see that with really anything else. There's just a few stars that have this sort of twinkling effect. It reminded me of that one Hubble telescope picture where it focused on a single bit of space for a long time, and then it focused on that, and then it shared the picture. And there were all these points of light all over the place. There was like one that was like shining with like lines coming out of it, and that was like the one star in the whole picture. Everything else was like a galaxy or something. So that's the vibe I kind of got from this. But more than that, the stars, these little stars, would twinkle. Okay. And so when something's twinkling like that, and when basically there wouldn't be a reason, they're not doing this for no reason, right? It's kind of like when Ransom was being teased. There's like this hours long stream where there's like one pop-up, one spam pop-up on a fake desktop after another. So I was guessing something like this was happening again. And when the stars twinkled, I kind of figured it had to be Morse code, right? They don't go too deep into this kind of ARG type stuff. So I'm like, okay, I will start a stream myself. And I did that. I started a stream on Twitch in which I and several other people, sorry about the ads, in which I and several other people um, would kind of pay attention to the twinkling of the stars and try to figure out what the messages are, right? We were there for 4 hours. Well, I was there for 4 hours. I don't know if anyone else was just like staring for even longer. I was there for 4 hours. And it was a great stream. Lots of people came by, lots of fellow lore nerds. Several fellow Brawlhalla partners came by to say hi. Slow motion rated my stream with like 46 people. Canadian Brawler rated with 2 more people. It was awesome. The Brawlhalla account itself actually did a first time chatter message on my stream, and it was an emoji of the little green 3-eyed alien thing just giving a smile. That was Brawlhalla's first time chat to my Twitch chat. Toast was there as well, which is awesome, and then talking about production and stuff like that. And Left Stick was also there as well. I will say Left Stick was really, really encouraging. He lurked throughout the entire thing, in which he usually tends to do with my videos like this or streams or whatever. Really appreciate it. But yeah, he just kind of gave a bunch of whenever he saw that we were struggling with a particular bit of Morse code, he would help a little bit, just kind of like to help us make sure that we were on the right track. Like, yeah, you're close. You have one letter, you have one character correct, or something like that. Or basically helped. Made sure we did most of the work, which we absolutely did. But yeah, I had Morse code up and was trying to figure it out, and I realized how bad I was at Morse code, at deciphering Morse code in real time. The star, by the way, is still right up here. I haven't seen it twinkle yet in here, but it depends. But okay, a lot of waffling here. I found out that in one loop of this sky space, there are 4 stars. I determined there's a yellow one, a white one, a red one, and a blue one. This one right here is the yellow one, the one next to the pink planet. I guess it's kind of whitish. I was trying to distinguish between the 2 light colored ones. So after a little while, and finally, like after several rounds of this, I finally got used to the Morse code and trying to tap it out on my keyboard on my Notepad app and figuring out the message. I found out that the message of this star right here, each star has its own message. There's 4 messages. This star gave the message Q ampersand BB. Q and BB. Ampersand is one character that has its own Morse code thing, an international Morse code, as far as I know. But yeah, Q and BB. There are lots of people who have speculated that the BB stands for battle boots, but not knowing what Q means. People think that maybe that indicates Katars, a weird spelling of Katars, or maybe the letter Q looks like chakram. So people are speculating that Q and BB refers to the weapons of this potential new legend. And it is a new legend that's being teased here. And the reason we know that is this star right here, this one. This star is, you might not be able to tell, but there are little rays of light coming out of it. This is the white star. And the message that, it took a little bit to figure out this message, but the message is Legend 70. Legend 70. So Q and BB, Legend 70. So this is definitely a teaser for the next legend. Because we are at number 70 at this point, which is, insane. That's another amazing milestone in Brawlhalla. But yeah, Q and BB, Legend 70. And then what comes next is this little red star right here. There's little rays coming out of this one right here. This one was the hardest to decipher. Just the timing of the blinks was just really difficult. So I'm gonna tell you what that message is last, because that's the one I figured out last. And then finally, in a little bit, there will be a blue star that will show up, and I'll point it out when it comes across. Well, yeah, so the yellow one, Q and BB, this white one, Legend 70, and then this blue one that's going to come in a little bit. I guess I haven't seen any of the stars twinkling during this like video reel or things like that. But I promise, every so often the stars have been twinkling. And once again, I'm going to move this over here. But yeah, I thought it was funny that there are a lot of people who kind of looked at this Brawlhalla stream and thought this is boring. It's not talking about anything. It's not talking about a new legend or anything. And they were wrong. They were absolutely mistaken, not realizing that this was in fact teasing Legend 70. The blue star will come up shortly here. I don't see it quite yet, but it should be coming up pretty soon down and around here. But the blue star, the message for that one was Zaktari. Z-H-A-K, whatever, Zaktari. Zaktari is the type of alien species that Vrax is a member of. Vrax is a Zaktari. We know that from his lore, and Reno's lore mentions the Zaktari Wars and so forth. All right? So, that's very interesting. Q and BB, Legend 70, Zaktari. That seems to hint at the lore of this new legend a little bit. And then, finally, this red star up here. The message is, "Hi, Mom." That's it. H-I-M-O-M. Hi, Mom. So, Q and BB from the yellow star. Legend 70 from the white star. Hi, Mom from the red star. And Zaktari from the blue star. What does all this mean? Well, apart from the fact that all of these are related to whatever Legend 70 is, we don't know that. But I wanted to, I thought about uploading the VOD. I might upload the VOD from the stream onto YouTube just to kind of have that whole thing there. I did not save the chat window. I didn't have the chat window on there, so you're not going to see all the chats in there. But yeah, it was a fun stream, and I wanted to kind of have this video as kind of a summary. Too long didn't watch kind of a thing. Oh, there we go. The blue star is just coming up right now. There it is. This is the blue star. This is the one that says Zaktari. So white star here, red star here, blue star here, and the yellow one is just already like way out there. Those are the 4 stars. Those are the 4 stars that have messages on them. I've been hoping that some of them would twinkle, but maybe because the devs know that we've already deciphered the messages, that there's not much point in having the stars twinkle anymore. But I promise they were twinkling in Morse code. Also, Toast did seem to suggest that they were actually like making the stars twinkle like live. Like maybe they had someone push a button that said, okay, have the white star twinkle, twinkle its message now. Have the red star twinkle its message now, or something like that. And it is later in the evening now when I record this, so the devs have probably all gone home. But just wanted to explain all of that. I thought it was a very interesting and fun and unique way to start to tease the new legend. And what I love about it is not just the 4-hour conversation, 4-hour hangout session that I had with fellow lore nerds and a few devs and things like that on my stream, but this is why, at least in the Brawlhalla community, the lore nerds are important, because stuff like this happens. Stuff like this stream right here happens. And, if you didn't know about it, if you just saw this, if you saw like Brawlhalla is streaming right now for some reason, and then you just saw this, and you're like, oh, well, there's no Twitch drops, there's no esports stream, there's no announcement being made or anything. So who cares? This is nothing. Well, us lore nerds, weird people like me, we recognize there was something else going on here. And this is not true for every single fandom out there, but it's true in this fandom, in the Brawlhalla community, because the developers have recognized that there is a small part of the community that really loves Brawlhalla for its lore, for the stories, and for its characters. And they know that that's a big part of their game. That's why there's a backstory to all the characters, and there's a whole universe, a multiverse even for Brawlhalla, and things like this feed into that. Things like this make being a lore nerd rewarding. So if you're not a lore nerd, if you don't care about any of that, that's totally fine. But that just means you miss out on stuff like this. That means that you miss out on being some of the first people in the entire Brawlhalla community to know that Legend 70 has been teased today. That legend has something to do with Zaktari, that the phrase "Hi Mom" is relevant to that legend, that Q and BB is related in some way to that legend. The lore nerds were the first people outside of the devs to really know that, to really discover that. Just think about that for a minute. I think that's really special for a platform fighting game, free to play platform fighting game like Brawlhalla. That's all I've got. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, all the best.